Hello, Bio 112 student. This video will be used to help you do your laboratory safety lab. You can see here is an example of it, and it begins on page 165 of your lab book. Your lab book looks like this. This is the front of the room. This is where your instructor will be sitting. You can see on the front bench, there's a variety of things that you might need and you are welcome to utilize within lab. So here, there are extra pencils. You're always going to be sure to write your labs in pencil, and on the top of every lab, you're going to put your name and your section number. There's also scissors, 3-hole punch, staplers, and in terms of things that you might need now, there are gloves if you feel more comfortable wearing gloves. There's 3 sizes, small, medium, and large. There's hand sanitizer for you to use. There are extra masks, and there are disinfectant wipes. So please feel free to use those things. This will give you an idea of what the lab room looks like. Here's one entrance with a clock over it. You also can see in the front of the room that there is a stapler as well as a pencil sharpener. In addition to safety items, there is a fire extinguisher and a first aid cabinet. In the front of the room, you've got the pull-down screens for the projectors if your professor is going to be using them, and the whiteboards. If we go to the other side of the room, you can also see there is another door. Here, if you have any glass that breaks during the course of the lab, first thing you should do is notify your instructor. Then your instructor will help you to clean up the broken glass. You can see there are 2 brooms with dustpans, and underneath you see that that is where the glass will be disposed of. Glass only will be disposed of in this container, as we do not want to hurt ourselves as well as the custodial staff by putting broken glass items in the garbage cans that could end up hurting them. So again, please make sure any broken glass only is disposed of in this container in the front of the room. If for some reason in your lab room you can't locate this glass disposal container, please ask your instructor. And again, if you ever have broken glass, make sure that you notify your instructor first before doing anything. You can also see at the front of the room, there is a fire alarm. And in the front of the room, there is a recycle bin. All of your recycled materials should go in this bin here. In this section of the room, near the front door, what you see here is a safety shower, a fire blanket, and an emergency eye wash station. If you ever have any chemicals spilt on you, immediately come to this area and notify your nearest student and/or instructor, or ask your student next to you to notify your instructor, and your instructor then can help you. The shower, the emergency shower, you would stand underneath. If you had any chemical spills on you, you could pull this triangle and it will bring water quickly down over your body. The emergency eye wash station should be pulled toward you, and then that will allow you to wash your eyes completely and thoroughly. And if there's ever a fire, someone can cover you with the blanket inside of here, and then you will do the number 1, yell, then stop, drop, and roll. Well, let's take a look at the room from the perspective of the front. On one side of the room, you're going to have a long bench with cabinets Many of your supplies will be found on the benches on the outside of the room. Here, the back of the room, the other far side of the room, and then also in the middle of the room. That's where you're going to look for supplies that you're going to need for your labs. In addition, at your lab benches, you may have supplies put out for you. We do ask that you always put things back where you found them. If you're not sure where you found something, just please ask your instructor. Also, at your lab table, make sure that you wash down your lab table before you leave. Give it a washing in addition of soap, of alcohol, and then dispose of your used garbage here at the garbage can in the middle of the room. There's only one garbage can. Garbage goes there, and recycled materials go in the blue bin up by the front of the room. If you need something from the refrigerator will be found in the back of the room. Supplies that may be refrigerated will be found here. When you begin growing plants, the plant stand here will be where you will plant your plants. Here's the back of the room where you'll find materials. And in the center back of the room, there are microscopes. If you need something from the incubator, you'll find the incubator in the back corner of the room. Another safety item that you should pay attention to is the hood. This is a vacuum hood. What happens in the vacuum hood is that air is sucked out of that area or from the room, and it goes all the way up to the ceiling of the building or the roof of the building. So that if we're working with any chemicals that we do not want into this room, what you will do is you will lift the hood and you don't want to go past this marked line. And then you will be working inside of the hood with any chemicals that you need. You'll also see there's a blue line here for safety to make sure any chemicals go up and out of the building. You want to make sure that you're always working further than this blue line that you see here. Also, if you have any toxic chemicals that you're working with, your instructor will let you know that there will be a toxic waste jar, much like this chlorophyll extraction waste jar. So that toxic chemicals will be put here and disposed of by the laboratory staff. You probably can hear the whooshing sound inside, and that gives you also a clue that the air is being sucked up and out of the building. When you're done working in the hood, what you're going to do is you're going to come back, you're going to lower this to a closed position. And again, that is the vacuum hood. When you begin working on anatomy, you'll see you'll be working with these torso models and getting to know the structure and function of the human body, and specifically the human heart. So again, just to give you a little overview, oh, and one last thing, there is an emergency shut off to the gas lines within the room. If for any reason you're going to pull that to shut off all of the gas lines. The gas lines are found on the outer lab benches as here. emergency shut off button is always pulled out. Sorry, is always pushed in. You can see it's in the pushed in position. If we want to turn it on and use the gas lines, we're going to pull it out. But just to be safe, we're always going to keep that pushed in. So again, just to go over your features that you need to know for the lab room in terms of laboratory safety: emergency shut off for gas line, always is pushed in until you need to utilize it. Fire extinguisher, first aid cabinet. You've got your corner here where you have a fire blanket, a pull down shower, and emergency eye wash. Glass disposal container. And you usually will find somewhere in the room your goggles. If you do not have your own safety glasses or goggles, we do have some that we can provide to you. In the middle of the room, there are sinks. Please use this soap and paper towels and wipes to wipe down your lab bench after every use. There are also more gloves in the middle, and you can see that there is lens paper and alcohol wipes. There are usually alcohol wipes at your desk, so if you wanted to clean your phone off, for example, or your pens and pencils, you could go ahead and do that. Garbage can in the middle of the room. Because the biology department likes to focus on sustainability, make sure that you are disposing of your mask and gloves in this container here, rather than throwing them into the garbage can. We appreciate that. All right, we look forward to having you in class soon. And remember, the focus of every lab is to be safe.